The greatest stupidity I get is when the victim shows profound nonchalance and maybe naiveness or feigned ignorance of a looming danger. Do you know when I hear that it's not easy to Islamize Nigeria? Cannot be. It's not possible. When you look at the unalivings in Benue, Plateau State, that is targeted at specific geographical location and that specific demography and a specific sets of faith, you shouldn't have to dig too far to know what the plan is. And because
Hello, what's up guys? In this video, you're about to hear jaw-dropping revelation that will shake you to your core. Shocking confession from former insiders, military intelligence officers, political figures, exposing a dark plan that many Nigerians have feared for years, a plan to Fulanize and Islamize this country from the inside out. According to what you will see in these clips, the northern elite didn't just sit back and let things fall apart, they allegedly engineered it. Top voices claim that foreign Fulani mercenaries were brought in from Mali, Senegal, even Sierra Leone, just to manipulate the 2015 election. And after the victory, these men were abandoned and they turned on the nation. One man who was part of Nigeria's military interrogation team says it plain and simple. Some of the same people they arrested for terrorism back then are now governors, senators, even inside Asurok. Let that sink in. He says the goal was never democracy, it was domination. The plan? Turn Nigeria into a religious state by any means necessary, even if it meant destroying the economy, embarrassing the nation, or spilling innocent blood. And the scariest part, the intelligence agencies, DSS, DIA, NIA knew about it. Another whistleblower, Kawu Badaje, confessed that these mercenaries were originally brought in to vote, but later became uncontrollable. Now they roam freely, leaving pain and destruction in places like Plateau, Benue, and Southern Kaduna. And yet, many still act like nothing is happening. Ask yourself, why are most positions of federal power concentrated in one religion? Why are specific ethnic and faith groups constantly under attack? Why is the country more divided now than ever? Guys, one of the speakers says it clearly. We have already been captured. The system, the policy, the power. It is no longer neutral. This isn't about scaring anyone. It is about waking up. This video is not just commentary. It is a mirror held up to our reality. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban. They think about the Mujahideens, and they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care, as long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia, and there is whatever thing they have in their head, and they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012. And I was the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. And they mention names. I mean, I can't come on the air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know. That is presently in government. That the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now. Some of them are in the Senate. Some of them are in Asurok. The intention is to Islamize Nigeria and practice Sharia. And it doesn't matter if some people die. It doesn't matter if you're embarrassed. It doesn't matter if our economy has generated. Look at the interest rate. Look at the inflation rate. Look at the debt profile of Nigeria. They don't care. As long as at the end, the Quran is the sea. So some people in this country have this mindset. And we must tell the truth. If you tell the truth, you die. If you don't tell it, you die. Some people have this mindset to Islamize the nation. And they're in the government. And people know them. The DSS know them. The NIA know them. The DIA knows them. There are a group of people in this country that feels that this country should be Islamized. This is a fact. I said you want me to start mentioning names of people in this government that we have interrogated. I was a member of an interrogation team, and I've interrogated a very high-ranking member of this government in 2007, 2008 on issue of Boko Haram. I interrogated him. He's in this government right now. And what was the issue? Boko Haram. And this senior officer was actually let go because he was found culpable. But right now he's in the government. See, we must say the truth, because if you don't, this country is going down the precipice. We have been set back more than 60 years right now. We've gone back to the time before 1966 now. And whoever is coming back to repair this country has a lot of work to do. This country has never been polarized, so we cannot run away from it. We have never been this much polarized. I'm a federal person. My mind is federal. My brain is federal. My loyalty is federal. I do things for the federal government. So I cannot come here and try to be sentimental. No, I'm a federal person.
So will your life be at risk now that they're hearing you?
I don't care. I don't care. And my colleagues, they know me. Those people that listen to me, they know me. I don't care. The issue is that this country is bigger than an individual. That is the issue. This country is bigger than individuals. Buhari will come and go. Eliminating me or killing me will not solve the problem and will not add value. But he will come and go. And somebody must come and repair the damage to the psyche of this society, the damage to the polarization, to the nepotism that I've never seen in my life. I work with all these presidents. This is the worst situation I've found myself. And believe me, internet does not forget. I was part of the people that helped to bring Buhari to government because I believe in him.
Have you worked with the government after that? After you helped bring the government?
Oh, of course, I worked with him. We brought him in 2015, and I work as the Deputy Director of Defense Administration. And we have a lot of hope in him. And we actually are ready to do anything for him. What he has turned out over the years is shocking to us. I was in Harvard in 2014, in December, when the Department of State Services and CIA and others were contemplating about Buhari and other aspirants. I know what we did to convince the American government that the only person that can come and put this country right is Buhari. Not just before the Lagos, the APC, before they chose within.
Right.
And that was how Tinubu came in. We know what we did, but what he has done in the past 6 years is shocking. It's unprecedented. And it should not be allowed to be swept under the carpet because the damage to the psyche of this country is monumental.
And of course, we will try more to cultivate that culture in our people, while at the same time bringing the Fulanis in one fold and try to arrest their traditional practice of moving from one place to the other. And that is very big, an uphill task. But I think we can communicate with them more, because to them they don't have borders from Cameroon to Nigeria.
But that's the thing, Excellency. How do we ensure that those who will be participating in this federal government largely funded program will be Nigerians?
In terms of the funding?
No, in terms of the
operations.
They bring in Fulani's together We have
you
Fulanese from other
see, the
countries
issue
as
of
well.
misconception, I said there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man. And as a person, I may have my relations in the Cameroon, but they are also Fulani men. I have relations because from the maternal side, I'm a Fulani man. And that is why we want to educate people. A Fulani man sees himself as a Bayelsan, as somebody coming from the Niger Delta, because he speaks the Niger Delta language, which you and I don't. And of course, we would have to just take this as part of our own heritage, something that is African, and that we cannot just close the border and say the Fulani man is just a Nigerian or this. No. In most cases, the crises are precipitated by those outside Nigeria. When there is a reprisal, it is not the Fulani man within Nigeria that causes it. It is that culture of getting revenge, which is embedded in the tradition of the Fulani man, that attracts reprisal from all over the
If I understand it, does that mean that those Fulani men who are maybe domiciled in other countries who move around, they can come into the country and this plan will accommodate them as well?
Yes, that's what we want to do. But it has to be done through sensitization, telling them you have to buy in the project, and you use the language, the culture itself to be able to convince them, away from the mistrust where the whole system of transhumance, of pastoralism is criminalized. Criminalization of pastoralism is the problem that we have with this project, and it requires people with passion who understand them and who they believe in, people like us from that part of the country, to say yes, we have this. Because today there is no limit to the accusation that this and that has happened and it is the Fulani man who caused it. There is no tribe that is not that you don't have this criminality in, but certainly the way and manner we do it is really exacerbating the crisis and the problems.
Will there be any form of documentation of all the people that will be,
yes, we are taking
that.
Oh yes, that is going to give Nigeria the opportunity to really have the best in terms of documentation in the demographics, because as I said, the Fulani man settles anywhere he can feed his cattle. And so if they are put in one place and they are made to understand that this is to save them and their animals, they are exposed to the vagaries of the forest and what is going on, cattle rustling, killings and what have you. And that's why it is important for them to understand that staying in one place is good. And of course, in terms of the best practice of carrying the meat, the cows and the
let's stay with that security angle for a bit. Is there going to be this plan going to be a fenced enclosure where anyone who comes in is secured, so there is no one that can just come in from anywhere else?
No. It is going to be a colony, and a colony does not require a fence.
You will understand the reason. You will understand the reason why people are concerned, because of all the security issues that have been happening over time. So if
these forests are there anyway, if you don't occupy them and create a colony out of them, they create places for the criminals. And today, that's why you have the Sambisa forest, because it is not being utilized.
But Your Excellency, much as yes, I mean, they are fantastic. We have met a lot of them who are Fulanese as well. But the concern too is, why should federal government use resources for this country to accommodate Fulani men who are not Nigerians?
You see, as I said, we are already accommodating them. Do you delineate and then really know who is not a Fulani man from Nigeria? They are all Nigerians, because I said their identity, their own citizenship is Nigerian, even though we have relations all over the world, all over Africa. And so, presumably they are Nigerians. I think you get me. That is the misunderstanding. They move from one place to the other, and they have relations, kith and kins in all the parts of the country and even outside the country. So that is why our own population is fluid. You can certainly not say this is the population of Nigeria.
So let me first of all say that the idea of bringing people from outside the country to destabilize
I mean, I didn't say they brought people to save lives. What I said was that the idea, they actually brought people into the country with the intention that those people will come and vote for them. I think you understand? And they never realized, they never knew, they were never convinced that they were going to win that election, because PDP was very, very strong on ground. So the fear was that they were going to lose the election. So the only thing they could do was to bring in people who could serve as mercenaries to come and win elections for them through the back door. But when the new PDP came on board and joined them and form the APC and won the election, they didn't know what to do with those people. And in the process, those people became uncontrollable. I mean, many people have spoken about that. You mentioned a name now, although I hate to mention names. You've mentioned a name now. You've mentioned the El-Rufai. I mean, he talked about them.
Stupidity I get is when the victim shows profound nonchalance and maybe naiveness or feigned ignorance of a looming danger. Do you know when I hear that it's not easy to Islamize Nigeria, cannot be, it's not possible, I begin to wonder, are you saying this because you expect to see the possibility only when everybody begins to wear turban, or everybody begins to hit their heads on the floor and proclaim that they are now converts to Islam? No. You can say Nigeria is already Islamized when the instrument of power is controlled by Muslims. Now, to understand the psychology behind the people that wants to Islamize Nigeria, you must ask yourself this. What are the symptoms? What would you see before you know that, yes, this is indeed what is going to happen? When you look at the unalivings in Benue, Plateau State, that is targeted at specific geographical location and specific demography and a specific set of faith, you shouldn't have to dig too far to know what the plan is. And because you stay far away from this, if you think it's not going to be your turn, definitely it's going to be your turn. Now, if you know, I have seen videos of people confessing that government is behind what they are doing. Now, Jonathan, at one point in time, said that his cabinet is infiltrated by Boko Haram. To understand the enormity of the challenge we have ahead of us, know this. I want to talk to the people that are, inflicting this burden on Nigerians. What will it look like if everybody in the world is a Muslim? If Christianity never existed? What will it be like? Because I have a mind that roams, a mind that think deeply, a mind that profoundly, play with thoughts. So that's what I do. What will happen if the whole world is are Muslims? Will the peace that you claim you have eventually be realized? Will the wars stop? Will the unalivings indiscriminately stop? Would you not start looking for reasons to unalive, since the symbol that promotes you are two swords crossing each other? Suppose the whole world, everybody in the world is a Christian. Would that bring the peace? Would the unaliving stop? Will the mayhem and chaos stop? There's one other question I want to ask. Suppose on a Friday, you put a well-dressed Christian into a mosque and put him into a mosque. And on a Sunday, you put a well-dressed Muslim into a church. And on Friday, the Christian man in the mosque shouts, "Muhammad is an idiot." And on Sunday, the Muslim man in the church shouts, "Jesus is an idiot." Which of these two people will come out alive? Is it the Christian man in the mosque who says Muhammad is an idiot, or the Muslim man in the church who says Jesus Christ is an idiot? Who will come out alive? Now, I'm asking this question so that you will understand the ideology that drives the minds of the people that wants to put this system into the minds of the people that wants to force you into being what you don't want to be. Now, the whole idea is about control. It's about control. when they tell you, I'm being very choosy about my word because I don't know how to refrain myself from saying what's in my head. After all, Facebook said, what's in your mind? So I'm saying what's in my mind. This whole thing that you're seeing, the sudden unaliving in Nigeria, is about command and control. And trust me, it was the people behind it went to a panic mode. And I'll tell you when it all started. It started during the election between Goodluck Jonathan and Buhari, where Buhari said, let every race, every faith vote for them, for people belonging to their faith. And for the first time in election, Christians in the north voted outside this alliance of we are northerners. They voted. If you noticed, it was during Goodluck Jonathan's regime that the unalivings of Christians started. And it started with the Christians in the core north, then Christians in the middle belt. For some weird reason, the Christians in the core north have been taught, maybe to their thinking, we taught a lesson. Then the ones in middle belt now wants to be taught a lesson, so that when next election comes, what they are trying to do now is to force, particularly those states that are predominantly Christians, they're trying to force them to identify with that north and to skew their mind to always be northward, so that when elections come, we'll use that number we've long boasted about to subdue political results in favor of the north. Now, when I see this coalition, the coalition, so-called coalition, Peter, Atiku and El Rufai, I just wonder, it's the same old agenda. Nobody yet is still thinking about Nigeria. To save this Nigeria, we must flush out these people with this barbaric, devilish agenda that says that, look, one tribe is superior to another tribe, or one religion is superior to another religion. By the way, I believe Islam in Nigeria is not really about salvation. It's just a tool. It's just a tool fashioned by a group of political people. This foul always disgrace me for my videos. People knows na local place at this stage. So the Islam I know is just a tool used by a group of people to grab power and control this whole country. So for you sitting back and saying that it cannot happen, it's already happening. It's already happening. It's already there. So there's nothing. You don't kid yourself. Nobody's saying you can't go to church, but the instrument that makes policy for you is already captured. So think. You either foolishly pretend and wait that government is going to save you, or you read the writings and understand how it's coming and devise means by yourself to protect and preserve yourself. Not just yourself, your culture and tradition and your beliefs. And more importantly, the future of your children yet unborn. Otherwise, we'll just sit back and remain like other civilizations that have been captured, and we'll begin to wonder, how did it all happen? These people are focused and precise. They are resolved. While we, on the other hand, are still speculating. Is it real? Is it really happening? Will it stop? Will it this? Will it that? You get me? We are fighting over petty things that are mundane and not exactly beneficial to us, and don't even provide hope for the future for us. And yet we keep doing it. While as we divide ourselves fighting over these non-entities, these inanities, these people are advancing and getting more resolved and more powerful every day. It is time to think. It is time to see what's ahead of us and come together and fight it.